So, how's your morning been?
It has been good so far. I just had a great morning starting yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Proceeding to watch some football games,
Uh-huh.
and then eating some delicious chicken marsala and bananas Foster for dinner. It was delicious. We had a nice little fire started last night. Um,
Oh, hungry.
I know.
Hungry.
Nice little fire started,
You
and
have
then
leftovers?
and then we talked a bunch. No, it's gone. we we ate it. It's I don't think you understand just how good Gary's marsala is. Like it's been a recurring thing that's happened every once in a while we're living here. Gary comes over and makes chicken marsala, and we're all just like, this is the most delicious thing in the entire universe, and we're just like shoveling
I
it.
know, you've multiple times in the
Oh my
past when
god,
I've been over or when I've been
so
hanging
good.
out, talked to me about it, and I've been like, I always miss that. I wish I could eat some of that.
It's completely random. We never know when it's happening. We're gonna be tagged as like when we move out, like you know, uh, we're gonna be like, we were talking to Megan, like, you need to you need to let us know when Gary's coming over so that we can come over and have chicken marsala. And she's like, yeah, she's like, Katie's just gonna get a text message. Gary's gonna make chicken marsala tonight. Katie, I'll be over in 5. Just like be there soon.
Wait, but whenever you guys move out, I thought you had this big thing where you maybe wanted to like move state at some point. Yeah, so I'm just like
Katie and I
imagining like
want to
later
move
on.
to Asheville.
Hold on. I'm imagining like later on when you actually move there, you just get a message the day before. Gary will be making chicken marsala tomorrow night. You're just on a road trip.
Like, we'll be
Oh
there.
hell, we'll be there. Give us
we
10
pack,
hours.
we pack a suitcase, throw it in the car, and just start driving. No, yeah, but Katie and I
I
did.
need bananas, Foster.
Katie and I did want to move to Asheville, though. We
Why
do.
Asheville?
Yeah, we found love with the actual like just area and the shops and just the food and environment area. The fact that there's a city within 15 minutes of just like woods and mountains, and it's just gorgeous. Uh, and we really loved it a lot. Of course, it has its quirks and things like that that we might not like necessarily, but there's a lot of parts of it that we do just like love. Also, it's it's in North Carolina. It's not like it's Nana and Papa family, everybody like that is within 2 to 4 hours of us compared to 8 to 12. Depending upon from here. Um,
That's still so far though. Why not like I know. I'm just thinking of like it's kind of far. Like you could choose like a middle like you could choose
well,
like what Charlotte. Charlotte's like 2 hours from each of them.
we don't want to go to Charlotte because it's not in the mountains. Asheville is beautiful. It gets cooler. It gets snow. You can go snowboarding, and like you can go like an hour away and go snowboarding and skiing on a mountain. Uh, the fall is gorgeous. The leaves there. They say that if you Google the most beautiful places to go during like fall time, during like October and like fall time, Asheville is like number 5 on the list because just the amount of colors and things like that these trees and like leaves and things like that change to is just so beautiful in the mountains. We got to see some of it. We didn't get to see all of it. We came a little early. Not all the leaves had changed. There was still a lot of green.
Yeah.
We saw some of the.
No, I mean Asheville's really beautiful. Mom and Dad and I went there when we were coming back.
It's really pretty.
Were you there that time we came back through? No, I don't think you
I
were.
don't think so. There was multiple
Yeah,
times.
when we were when you guys I think it was I I really want to say it was when I don't know. We'll talk about that later. All right, yeah.
I
My
don't think
morning.
we've passed through Asheville before. I know for a fact, but never stopped in. I've never stopped in like the actual city or area with mom and dad. Also, there's a store there. Oh, I forget what it's called. Ooh, there's a store in Asheville that's like cheaper and better than like Publix. You know, like way better, and it's bigger. And there's so much more stuff, and they have Cheerwine by the box that you can get. And we were just so happy because we went there when we were leaving Asheville after staying there, and I had introduced Katy to Cheerwine while we had been in North Carolina, and we were driving straight back home from Asheville, and so we stopped at the first store. I forget, it's not like Eugene. It might have been like Eugene. I don't know. It's like something weird. And we went and we stopped at this store, and we get out, we go in, and we see just boxes of Cheerwine, just like things of Cheerwine, and we just grab like 4 or 5 of them and throw them in the cart and go and buy them to take home with us, because they just really don't have them here. You can find them every, like, you know, PDQ, the Rocket Fizz, you know, you can get them at certain stores, but you just can't find Cheerwine anywhere here. You can order Cheerwine, but you know how expensive like a 12-pack of Cheerwine is to order? I think it was like $24 for a 12-pack of Cheerwine to order it. Yeah. It was so expensive, dude. We were like, what? For like a 6-pack like bottle thing, it was like 20, like 15 to 20. It was so expensive, dude. It was insane. We were shook by it. So sad.
That sounds like, I mean, you like Cheerwine.
I do. I love Cheerwine. It's the most delicious soda. It's just so refreshing. It's perfect.
So, I went to sleep last night. Then I woke up. Then I got on this podcast. That was my morning.
Oh, I didn't even finish my morning. I never even got.
That's fine.
No. Wait, I gotta finish. Then I, you know, hung out with some, you know, my roommates and one of my roommates' dad. You know, and we went, and Katy and I watched a show, and then we realized it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and Katy went to bed. But I just couldn't, and so I decided I have to get up earlier than her. I'll stay up, and so I just stayed up, and I'm here now. And thankfully, Megan luckily got her school like books, and that she orders from a specific like a specific, like, you know, renter book thing. Like, you like rent the book from them, and they send it to you, and you send it back. And whenever you do that, for some reason, they always send her some form of energy drink. This is the first time it's been a Monster. I've gone Red Bull like 3 times before, but Megan doesn't drink energy drinks, so she always just gives them to me. And so I always just get a free energy drink whenever she gets her boxes. And it's a nice little treat. And thankfully, I got this because I don't have to drink like 4.
Hold it up for the camera facing.
No.
And then we're sponsored, right, by Monster.
No,
It's our new.
That's why I'm not doing it.
Monster Energy.
Oh,
Get your energy on.
did you see that Monster?
Be the beast in your relationships.
Did you hear that they're making a Monster Hard?
Yeah, I heard. You told me.
Dude, I just found out like the other day. Yeah,
No, you told me like 2 weeks ago. You and Katy told me how they're making a new thing.
The other day, it was like 2 days ago that she told me. But
No, you definitely told me a few weeks ago that in addition to coffee, they're now selling a hard like juice energy, like a hard, yeah.
Like alcohol, they're selling a 6%.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, I'm telling the viewers and you that they are making that, and I'm gonna drink the crap out of it because I like Monster.
I don't drink Monster.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun story.
Okay, you want me to start? You want me to kick it off?
Go ahead. I'll enjoy my Monster that you don't drink.
Get it away! Yeah. So, all right. So, as many of you know, I am a sweet Christian boy. Insert Halo, Nath. And
Nath doesn't have that kind of Photoshop, okay? That's literally like Photoshop and After Effects. We don't have that.
you would, hey Nath,
have
you
After
would if you
Effects.
took my editing software.
It does
Anyway,
not have that kind of After Effects. No, it doesn't.
it does.
No photo
Anyway,
software has that.
okay. Anyway, so um, I was in a church like band. I played guitar, bass guitar, and stand-up bass from when I was like. Well, I started playing the guitar versions of it when I was about 13, but I started when I was 11 years old playing instruments, string instruments.
Mainly.
And
Didn't you
well,
start
I
out
played
as like? Didn't you start out as like a viola or something like that? And
cello.
you start out on cello, and they're like, "You have a really weird arm. You can reach up high and touch the thingies at 11. We need you to play stand-up bass."
Because my arms have been the same length since I was 11 years old. And I just had really long arms that went down below my knees.
So he
They called me knuckle dragger.
So
And,
you could actually reach the top of the stand-up bass, like a larger. you could reach the top of a half, right? Not a quarter.
A half size.
Most of the other people could only reach like a quarter. The bassist could only play like quarters.
Well, there were no bassists in my school. I was the bassist when I started. I was literally playing for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade orchestra because I was the only bass player. So I'd be in 3 shows.
Didn't you play? There were more at Miss Strong's class in middle school in Florida. Yeah, there was at least like 2. You played.
There was one.
You could play the larger sizes of the bass than the other bass.
No, there was in Miss Strom's class. There was a guy, who was playing bass, but he was a cellist. And when I got there and I was a bassist, they were just like, "Yeah, you go ahead." Well, I'm talking about in Miss Widow's class, though. I was for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I was only there for 6th, 7th, and half of 8th grade, and then I went to Florida, and I was the rest of the last half. But I was playing music from 6th grade for all 3 of them because there was no other. Anyway, this isn't important.
Sorry.
So, when I'm 13 years old, I joined the band as the bass guitarist in the church. We played, like, kind of that alternative pop, soft rock, like, Christian music.
Sorry, I just wanted to say,
Dave, blur Ethan's whole face. Just
Chris,
blur it.
No, don't do that.
Blur his mouth. Not all sound right now. See him wagging his finger and being like, "Stop asking for things," but there's no sound.
No, that's really hard. Isolating vocals for both of us. So difficult. We don't have that.
If only my other previous editor, who is now the financial distributor and my person here, Alec. If only he was there, because he's an amazing editor. Like, he's been editing for years.
You sure?
So
you
good.
Sure you want to talk trash to Nate like that? All the stuff
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Nate, don't send me any dangerous packages. I could get in trouble.
Wait,
Oh.
I just wanted to say, what was his name? John, the guy in the youth, John, whatever the guy that didn't get along with you the best. You know him. I know you know him.
When I was older, when I was like 16, like right when I left, yeah.
You guys didn't get along the best whenever you're like towards the end of it. On Christmas, Grandma was like, I want to watch some form of like musical like performance thing, and so I Googled. She's like, try like a Hillsong thing. So I like Googled like Hillsong Christmas, and there was like a Hillsong Christmas spectacular, and we're just it's on. Grandma hates it because it's way too like fantastical. Way too fantastical. Like there's like people doing like circus acts and like crazy stuff and like flips and trampolines and crazy stuff. But she just like this isn't what I wanted. But before that,
Why?
Before
That's
that, though,
cool.
Katie and I both walk back into the room, look at the TV, and we both look at the TV and we're like,
Is that Johnny Davy?
"Is that John Davies?" And we're like, "What? That totally is." I'm like, Katie's like, "Yeah." We like say it like at the same time, and I'm like, "Mom, Dad, is that who I think it is?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it is." Like we're like, "He was on TV." like what the heck? And I knew that he went to Hillsong, you know, but like I didn't know that like he actually like performed singing like on like a live like special thing for like Hillsong.
He has a good voice. Like
he does.
He's a good performer.
And I told Katie this, and she's like, "Yeah, I know what you mean." She's like, "It's a youth group thing," and it was like he's just standing there, just singing, just standing and singing, and I'm like, "That's not him. That can't be him. He always was jumping and doing weird things." He was always.
Oh yeah, he would jump like he would wear no shoes every time,
and he would just go crazy. He would go crazy, and it was a youth group thing. It was specifically to hype up the kids and things like that.
Well, Hillsong is also like that. Like Hillsong, usually they're moving more
he
too.
Was singing a relatively more upbeat song, but he wasn't moving at all. And I'm like, this is so strange. And I'm like, it's probably something like he had to learn how to do. Because I feel like every part of his body is like, I want to dance in a circle and stop my foot on the ground.
I hated that so much. Like, he was so frustrating. There are these big competitions for church bands and also like performing arts groups, solo singers, like different types of like live art, performing art type projects and fine arts. Yeah,
it's a big enough thing.
That's what it's called. And there's a state one, there's city, there's state, and then there's nationals. So we got all the way to national. We went to the nationals competition in Phoenix, Arizona. And we were at this really cool convention center with a really nice hotel, and we were all, hanging out there. My mom and dad gave me like $200, which was awesome because I was like buying food and like little trinkets and stuff.
He's on his own in Phoenix, Arizona.
I was in the fine arts group. I was the bassist in the band, and we were staying in this hotel room, and it was like 3 guys to a hotel room plus like a guardian. We had Nelson. He was sleeping on the couch bed in the front part of the suite. So 2 of us had to share a bed because, there weren't enough beds. And I'm not going to go into super tough details on this, but let's just say I had a really rough time sleeping because of some reasons, and I ended up sleeping like in the bathtub, which means I didn't sleep at all. So for like 2 days, because my performance for some reason was at the very end of the entire convention. Like
you guys did like minor you did like preliminaries, but you guys made it to. You did like you would go into the smaller rooms and do a quick performance, and then
they were like beating our groups out.
The actual big on stage performance. Where
they would like take us into rooms to have us perform certain songs. They would pick for us, and we would have to sight read them and do them all on the spot. And we did preliminaries. We got through. There were 4 bands performing at the very end or everything. And we were one of the larger ones. We had a tambourine player. We had a drummer. We had a cellist. We had 2 singers. We had an acoustic guitar, rhythm guitar, me, and we had a pianist. Yeah. So it was a big production. One of the rhythm guitarists
was that when Megan was still there? It was Megan. Yeah, Megan, right? Was that when Megan was still there as a drummer? Or
very sure she was.
Or was she already at Hillsong? Because she was an amazing drummer.
I think she was our drummer for states, but she didn't come with us to the actual competition because she was gone. Her and Christian left at like similar times.
Right, because
But
wasn't Chris there? Or Chris wasn't there? No, you're right. Chris wasn't there at all.
so we oh, I was up for like 3 days straight because I couldn't sleep. I was in a bathtub. Bad stuff was happening. Not going to go into it right now. Sorry for another day if I ever feel like it. But basically, I was like, how do I stay awake? Because I feel like I'm going to die. How am I going to perform and have enough energy? And James, one of my really good friends for like 13 years now, he was drinking some Monster energy drinks. I've never had an energy drink ever because my parents, always said drinks aren't good like that aren't good for you when you're so young. You should drink them when you get older.
Quick thing, James is a amazing concert pianist. He's amazing. Like
completely self-taught, learns everything by ear. Like he taught himself eventually to read some music, but he's like a brilliant pianist, keyboardist. Like
he plays
really good.
Piano. I mean, he plays.
No, he can.
Piano,
he mostly plays on like.
I've seen an amazing video of him playing a grand piano in one of his concerts, and it was just like, or a performance at like a gala, and it's like I'm like,
yeah,
man, he actually.
He's in like Is it the
stuff.
one? Is it the one where he's in like Tails? Like he's like
he's like fully dressed like and playing like a concert piano, like a gala or something like that. He's awesome.
His mom would like organize like these big events for him. Like she was like his agent for a while before he started doing his own stuff. Yes. Okay. So he's drinking these Monster Energy drinks, but he's being responsible. There's directions on the cans of Monster Energy that basically say you can have 3 maximum in a day. You don't want to drink more than 1 in an hour span. I didn't read any of that. Never had an energy drink. Parents didn't say it was good for me. I'm on my own though, with lots of money.
More than 3 with an hour.
Yeah, so basically, I was drinking a lot just the whole time. So first day, I drank like 3 or 4 of them in a very short span of time, kept me up. Second, and then I drank some in the bathtub that night, and then I drank some more the next day. And then the final day comes, and I'm just going through them, crushing can by can. I mean, these are expensive too. We're at a convention center, so these are like $4.50 a can, which was expensive at that time. That's right. So about like, I don't know, 50 of those dollars went to just drinking Monster Energy drink. And I slammed about in the 2-hour span right before my performance. I slammed 9.5 cans.
8. You slammed 8.
No, 9.5 cans. I drank that much. I had the 1 can with me, the one I drank half of. And I went to the performance. And I don't remember any of it. I don't remember performing. I don't remember what we did. All I know is we came in second at the end of everything, which is really good for nationals. So we did really well. So we went to begin our performance. We were like second or third in line, or maybe fourth in line. It was really late in the day though, because all the bands were performing like 3 song sets. So they had been performing for like hours. And so we went in to perform. When we went in to perform, I had my last 10th can with me, the one I only drank half of. And I don't remember the performance at all. I only remember right after it. We did actually really well. We came in third or second out of like 6 bands. So we did really good. We finished our performance. Get off stage. I'm probably the second youngest like in the group of people who are playing. We go out onto the street, like onto the sidewalk where we're gonna cross the street, and I'm there and I'm like jittery and my heart's like pounding, and I got my other can over them and like go guys, we did so good. I'm so excited for like what our score is gonna be. I think we rocked that. Like Jesus must be proud of us, Jesus. And we're like walking and we get to the sidewalk like where it drops off the curb, and we get down onto the crosswalk, and right when that happens, I passed out. Just went completely unconscious. More than unconscious. From word account of everybody who was there, actually Christian was there.
Because Christian was the one that called Mom.
He's the one who called, yeah, and he also will always like back up that story and like tell it from his
Call you an
perspective.
idiot.
He watched me fell and passed out. Yeah. And every time he sees me now, he always says the same thing. He's like, "I the monster." He'll always like mention it, and my heart stopped. So from
the
what
medical record said that your heart was skipping beats, and it skipped a beat and it like technically stopped, but started back up, but it was stopped for like 2 seconds basically. There was a period of time where
more than that, but all I know is I woke up to Christian by my head and a female nurse who was hired for the convention here in front of me, and she had like pushed and like I guess got my heart
like hit your chest
regulated.
to keep your heart
it like regulated, but my heartbeat was up around like 224 beats. Per second. It was basically then I was taken to my own special room that some people vacated and like joined my other room, and the nurse had to sit on the other bed and watch me that whole night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's stupid. And then we came to Arizona and scolded him, and he got.
Well, yeah. So then Mom and Dad and Grandma.
I think you were supposed to do another performance, but you weren't able to, or something like that.
No, we did it. It was done. So then Ethan and Grandma and Mom and Dad all got like a room, and I ended up staying in a room with them. And then the convention ended, and we all went up to the Grand Canyon, and the south side, the lower loop of the Grand Canyon, and we all had a nice little Grand Canyon adventure. We saw the giant ravens that were the size of condors. Yeah, that's my story of how I died for half a minute. And I would love to tell you I saw something cool and like saw the face of God and stuff, but no, I didn't. Until later. Hey, we have impromptu first guests. Yay!
Next story.
Ethan.
About Asheville. Asheville. I was thinking, do you remember the name of the store?
The vintage store?
No, the store that had the cheer wine that we got. Like, this store's amazing.
Oh, the grocery store.
Yeah, that's that we were like, we love this store. We want to go here forever. What was the name of it?
What was the name of the store?
Ingles. That's what it was.
Oh, I've heard of Ingles.
Ingles. It was the best store ever.
Such a good grocery store.
Such a good grocery store. They were everywhere.
They were
so
everywhere.
big.
There was one like 5 minutes from where we were staying.
They were like literally. You can tell it's a popular grocery store when there's like one, and then you drive like 5 minutes down the road, and there's another one. And then you're like, wow.
This is a very famous local
we bought
store.
like four cases, like cases of
like 12 packs
Cheer-wine in
of
total.
Cheer-Wine. Yeah.
We got so much Cheer-Wine.
It only lasted us like a month.
We drank it so quickly. I was telling you how expensive it is to just like order online, like a normal like 12 pack was like $25.
Yeah, even just to buy a 4-pack from, because they sell it in bottles at Publix.
It's like $15.
And it's the 4-pack at Publix is like $8 or $10, something like that, for just 4 bottles of it.
You know they sell it at that PDQ too,
Yeah,
like.
That's where we
Yeah, we get it at PDQ.
But like.
No, but if you ask, they sell it. No.
Yes, but even then, it's just.
They sell it in the little.
Yeah,
They sell it in the 6 bottles.
They
sell it
at,
to you.
Rocket Fizz too, but it's Rocket Fizz prices. So you're buying.
Yeah, it's not
expensive
cheap
soda.
to get here.
Like
because
compared
they
to
don't-
the like $4 for a case of 12 that you can get in Fayetteville, North Carolina, you're like, I don't want to buy this anywhere else. You get it we get it every once in a while whenever we go to PDQ to get food because it's right in front of our apartment. But we just can't, it's expensive. It's expensive to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm thinking about the taste of
Now
Cheer-Wine.
Katie's craving cheer wine, so that's another.
So when you go to do your vape stuff, you're just gonna stop by PDQ. They will. They should.
You can call
Which one are you going to?
Well, they're probably not gonna have it at.
Okay. So you know Carowinds?
Yes, yes, where you messed up your tiny baby phone.
Okay. So when I was like 12 years old, my parents gave me one of their old iPhones. But then something happened where they decided this is too much power for a child. We don't want our sheltered little boy to have the internet. No, and they took the iPhone back and got me a tiny like purple keychain phone that literally had a keychain hook on the end of it that you could hook onto your keys.
You know, like the ladybug phones, where like
Yeah.
these little phones that look like ladybugs, and it's literally a phone that has 3 numbers in it: your mom's number, or 2 emergency contacts, but mainly your mom's and your dad's number,
And then
like,
911.
That's basically what they gave us.
I had 25 phone numbers and I had 5 numbers that I had unlimited texting.
On this.
Yeah, I can imagine texting.
And I was great at it. I was like clicking a button 3 or 4 times in a row to get all the symbols.
Yeah, slidey phone.
I loved my slidey.
Yeah.
I kind of miss having a slidey phone. Like
I wanted the Android one that was like touch screen, but then it had a sliding keyboard. That one was super cool.
The ones that like slide.
My friend had one
instead
like
of
that.
turn it sideways and make it like a sliding, like sideways keyboard.
my friend had
Yeah, but it was touch screen. It was dual, Ethan. It was dual touch. So it was literally like touch screen, and then you slide it, and it was a small keyboard that was touch, like a sideways keyboard.
Do you know what Sorry, Katie, I'll tell your thing in a second. Do you know what I was really jealous that you had, but also like not at the same time? I got mine thing, but like also I feel like it was really underrated. The PSP Go.
Yeah, that one was also like a phone, basically. It was like a phone and a computer.
It had the internet,
Yeah.
you could download games. It was all purely. They completely disconnected all services. It is basically.
I still have mine.
Basically, whatever games you had downloaded on that are the only games you'll ever be able to get on that ever.
Yeah, I still have mine. Basically, I've taken it to a shop before, and there was a charging port that's messed up. And if I replace the charging port, I can re-put up.
The slide phone of a PSP. Oh, you got it? Awesome. Well, Katie, you were gonna say something.
yeah, I was just gonna say when I had that little slide phone, I got like weirdly good at T9 Word. Like where I could text under my desk without looking down at my phone. With
Yeah,
T9
yeah.
Word.
I was
And like
never-
99% of the time it was 100%.
I was never that good at it because my first
Same.
phone was, like, a tiny BlackBerry. But like in all honesty,
No.
using the little numbers to type way easier than using the
How many-
tiny like letters on that BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Like,
Katie, did you? So same, where I would be able to like text without looking at it. In fact, there was a point where when this happened, this story where I went to the water park and like the theme park, and my phone got messed up. My screen didn't work, so I got really good at like messaging and doing things and calling people, like remembering all the directives without like being able to see. So Carowinds is like this local theme park in Florida. It's kind of like a Kings Island type thing. Not Florida, North Carolina. And so basically, you weren't there, right? You didn't go.
I'm together with you.
Did you go the time we went together as a church?
I was there the time that your phone broke. I was there.
When we went in the big church van, all of us?
I just didn't ride it.
Okay.
I didn't like roller coasters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you still don't really love roller coasters.
What we're talking about. I'm obsessed with them. They're amazing.
How many have you ridden? Huh? How many have you ridden this last few years? Huh?
I mean, I've ridden all of them.
Well, I said these last few years.
Series.
Anyway, so
when we had the Universal passes and the Islands of Adventure passes, when Mom and Dad stopped paying for them, I started paying for it so that I could go.
me too. I also paid for it. I still have it. like I have my account still, so I can like reactivate it if I wanted to for Adventure Islands and Busch Gardens and everything.
Okay, cool. Continue, go. Everyone.
So, yes, heroines. So I was about 13. This is like a few months before we started getting ready to leave. We went in a big church bus. Ethan was like 10. We all went over, and I had the tiny little keychain phone. And so there was tons of rides. I was there with my really good friend Peyton. Like I'd known him since he was a baby. Knew his mom, Tara. Like we were really good friends. At that point in time, we were like close because we actually still lived in the same area and everything. So we get there, and the first thing we decide to do is ride the water rides because it's hot. So we're like, if we just get wet, like soaked, we can get on the other like roller coasters and just be like really cool the rest of the day, and we can just ride a ton of coasters, and we'll be all good. That was our plan. So, rode the freaking water ride, like a log ride. Rode like the big one that's like a large track of people, and on the bigger one, it comes down right by this bridge. And you could stand in the splash zone on this bridge and just get like hit by like a huge wave as this big like thing comes down and hits a big bank of water, and it goes underneath and then goes back around and stops and you get off. So funny thing is, I go on this ride, I have my phone with me. The first ride I rode on, I put it in the cubby. The second one, they didn't have like cubbies open, so I just had to keep it with me. Go through that ride, I don't get wet at all on that ride. I'm like, what the heck? And I recorded it. So like I recorded, yes, my phone had a tiny camera. This is true. And I recorded like
The little
2 minutes.
Downloaded thing, the camera, the footage, if you put it on your computer, would come up in the size of the camera.
Yeah.
Screen.
And like a
I'm
240 by
like
120, like
Katie.
yeah,
Yeah, and
This
it
big.
looks
Like-
pixely, like it was
So
recorded on
bad.
a potato.
Exactly, it's horrible.
240 by like 120 ratio, like this tiny. And we I'm fine. I'm like, wow, good, thank you, God. And I get off the ride, and I'm like, I'm gonna get on the bridge and record because I want to see like Peyton and people are gonna go back like second. So I get on the bridge and I'm recording, and they come down, and I was thinking, because I hadn't got wet at all, I'm like, this must be stupid. Like, you're not actually getting wet. So I get on the bridge and I'm recording, and I'm like, all right, here they come now. I press record because I can only record for like 2-3 minutes, and they come down. Just like a tsunami hits the bridge, like whole bridge. There's nothing on that bridge except the stairs that doesn't get hit, and we just soak. Everything's soaked, and I'm just standing there. My phone got launched like onto the floor. That's how hard it hit me. And I go down and I get it, and everything still works except that there's no display anymore. None. So I'm like, shoot.
Press, like, speed
Okay.
dial. It worked, and I called mom.
Yeah. And I didn't tell them until like we got home. But like, basically I was like, okay, great. And I just
Because they were in the party.
I blew into like
Everybody had broken up into groups, but mom and dad were like the leaders, like, and so they were taking like control.
they were with the older kids, like Trey and them, like they were, and we split up with some of like the older girls, and there was some like the younger guys, me and Peyton, some people, like we all split up, and I like blew into one side of the screen, and like a ton of water was just like spraying out the other edge of the screen, and I'm like, I hope I can put this in rice retroactively and just soak up the water so my battery doesn't get killed, and I put my keychain back on my side, put it in my pocket, and okay, so that's that part. But there's another part that's way funnier than that to me, and I will always remember it. So there is this ride called, I want to say it's called Nighthawk. Yeah, Blackhawk, Nighthawk, something like that. And it's insane. So the way it is that you get onto the ride, you sit down in it, and the seats are facing backwards. Like, so imagine if the ramp you're going up is like behind you, you're facing backwards, you're facing out like where you get in. And you sit down, and it's like at a 90 degree when you sit down. And you put your arms on the armrest and your feet down, and there's like these cups for your feet. They go in, and they like clamp down, and then it clamps down on your arms, and then like a whole harness comes down and clamps you. And so you're kind of like set up like this. This is how it is. Like your arms are up like this in these like vertical rests. And it takes you up backwards. Now Peyton's with me, and a lot like Ethan, Peyton hates roller coasters. But he's like a big try-hard. And he doesn't like...
I used to hate roller coasters.
I'm talking about at the time. So basically, he does not like roller coasters, but he's a big tryhard and he tries to act like tough. And on the water rides, he was perfectly fine because, you know, it's no like loops and big, huge drops or anything. So we get up to the top, and we're like, how does this ride work? Do we just go backwards the whole time? No. You get to the top where it crests. You're sitting like this, kind of at a 90 degree. The ride then opens. The backrest comes down like this, and you're like flat. You're like almost flat. You're still like kind of a concave, maybe kind of like this, but you're flat. And then it just twists, and you're facing the ground. So now you're like facing the ground. The top of your head is pointing like where the roller coaster's going. You're facing the ground, and it's supposed to be like you're a hawk, right? Like you're flying. And this ride just takes off like, and it circles around the whole like park. It takes you like over top of it so you can see everything. It does like a few loops, some barrel rolls. It's pretty great. I love it. It's one of my favorite rides I've ever ridden. I don't know if they still have it anymore, but it's great. And Peyton starts screaming. And all of a sudden,
I remember that.
I just smell something. And I look, and Peyton pissed himself. And we're wet, so like lucky for him, no one noticed this because we were soaking wet. But I did, because this yellow stream is just like flowing down his pants, like. And I looked at him, and I'm having such a great time. I'm like laughing, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he's like crying, and I'm just like, "You're like Peter Pan."
Well, and everybody, that's how you make a man.
Ah!
Wow, you're completely cut out from how long you did that stream. I had to do it just for you. Sorry, I keep looking away. There's a bunch of like blue jays.
Ooh, blue jays.
Really big blue jay. Like it really is big. Over there.
Not wearing my glasses.
All right, and that's the end of my second story. All right, thank you everybody so much for tuning in to our podcast. There was a lot of, surprisingly, there was a lot of something to say today. Anyway, check out my book, Older Than Eternity, on Amazon Kindle, and check out. Do you do anything? Go check out Ethan. He doesn't have anything to show you. So, anyway, no, he does have something. He's running an amazing campaign. You should already see it. It'll be this last Friday that it came out. It's awesome. I love playing it. Why are you acting so sad? It was just a joke.
It hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. Well, do something, and then I can plug you. Anyway,
Isn't
so-
this whole channel about nothing?
that's the joke
No,
of it,
we
because
have
we
a
actually
whole
talk about a
channel
lot.
doing things.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we do.
It has like three videos on it.
I don't
Maybe 2.
Don't find that.
Oh yeah, what's the name of it? You want me to plug it for you?
It's called
No.
Let's Do Things.
Alright, thank you guys so much for joining. Have a
Let's
good
do
time.
things,
Have a
Katie
good
and Ethan's
night.
channel. I'll go ahead and link it in this video. From now on, it'll be linked.
Or 2 videos.
Oh, 2 videos.
Maybe 3. I don't
that aren't that
remember.
entertaining. There is a video of me getting enraged at sewing,
Knitting.
knitting. I hated knitting. It was horrible. Never wanna do
Well, if we get enough requests for you to start that up again, maybe you will.
it. No.
So,
We should try crocheting.
No. Unless if we reach 1 million subscribers,
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
will knit again. That's it.
Deal.
That's it.
we'll do it on the
Like
podcast. Katie can be here. We'll do it.
We do, yeah. If we though.
Oh.
Did you see we gained like 6 subscribers?
Yeah, it was really cool. Call me.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, we'll see you guys later.
All right. Thanks all for tuning in. Candyland. Okay. Bye.